Namaste and welcome back to the channel. And I am back with another interesting video where we will validate the astrological predictions we made for mid-November to mid-December with real world events. You will find the link to original prediction video in the description. Feel free to take a look at it. Now let's look at what predictions we made and how closely the predictions align with reality. The first theme that we predicted was around communication breakdowns and confusion. We predicted issues related to unclear communication, mismanagement of policies, and confusion in governance. So let's understand what actually happened. The first event that we observed, one company issued a strict notice banning sick leaves from November 25th to December 31st. This decision left employees frustrated and angry, showing how poor communication can cause dissatisfaction in the workplace. The backlash gained significant media attention, proving that effective communication is crucial, especially during sensitive times like the festive season. The second event that we saw related to this theme was in Manipur. In Manipur, hundreds of people broke curfew to protest against the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, which gives the military special powers in certain areas. Now, protesters were demanding the removal of this law, claiming it leads to misuse and human rights violation. The lack of clear communication from authorities about addressing these concerns made the situation worse, fueling anger and unrest. This aligns with our prediction about communication breakdowns, showing how unclear or ineffective messaging from officials can escalate tensions and lead to public frustration. The third event that we observed during this time related to communication breakdown and confusion was Navjot Singh Sidhu's clarification on his wife's health. Now, Navjot Singh Sidhu shared that his wife followed a strict diet during her fight with stage 4 cancer. He initially highlighted how her recovery included drinking juices like pumpkin and beetroot, avoiding sugar and dairy, and focusing on natural remedies. This led many to believe her recovery was purely due to the diet. Later, Sidhu clarified that medical treatments like surgeries, chemotherapy, and targeted therapies were also crucial in her recovery. This reminds us of the importance of providing complete and accurate details to avoid spreading confusion or false hope. These events demonstrate how unclear communication, whether in policies, governance, or personal matters, can lead to unrest, frustration, and confusion, aligning perfectly with what we predicted. Let's move on to the second prediction theme, which was around technical glitches and disruptions. We predicted disruptions in technology, including service outages and operational challenges. So, what were the actual events related to this prediction theme? The first one was around social media outages and protest in Pakistan. During a large protest in Pakistan, platforms like WhatsApp and Instagram stopped working, leaving millions of people without a way to communicate. The protests were already creating tension, and this outage made things worse by cutting off important updates between the protesters and the public. Authorities were also affected as they struggled to manage the situation. This aligns with our prediction about communication breakdowns, showing how disruptions in key communication tools can make challenging situations even harder to handle. The second event that we saw related to this theme was with Netflix. Now, Netflix faced a major problem when technical issues disrupted the live streaming of a big boxing match, leaving fans frustrated and disappointed. Many people could not watch the fight they had paid for, leading to a class action lawsuit against the platform. This incident raised concerns about Netflix's ability to handle high demand events smoothly. And this again aligned with our prediction about technical glitches and disruptions, showing how unexpected tech failures can affect businesses and create dissatisfaction among users. The third event related to this was found in Bareilly. In Bareilly, a tragic bridge collapse caused several deaths, and Google Maps was partly blamed for the accident. The app directed the drivers onto a road that was closed, leading them into a dangerous situation. This shows how relying too much on technology without checking local conditions can have serious consequences, but it aligned with our prediction about technical glitches and disruptions, highlighting how unexpected failures in everyday tools like navigation apps can lead to tragic outcomes and affect public trust in technology. So, from social media failures to tragic consequences, these events highlighted how disruptions in technology can create ripple effects across industry and daily life. The third prediction theme we had was around spread of misinformation. We predicted the rapid spread of misinformation leading to confusion and societal challenges. The first event that we observed for this theme was regarding a railway minister. In late November, Indian Railway Minister shared a video showcasing a travel ticket examiner administering cardiopulmonary resuscitation to a 70-year-old passenger, but the passenger appeared conscious during the procedure. This video, intended to highlight the prompt action of a railway staff, drew significant criticism from medical professionals. Experts emphasize that CPR is designed for individuals who are unresponsive and not breathing, and performing it on a conscious person can be harmful. In response to the backlash, Minister clarified that CPR should be stopped when a person becomes conscious or follows commands, which are signs of return of spontaneous circulation. Finally, the video was eventually removed from his social media accounts. This incident underscores the critical importance of accurate public health information and proper training in emergency medical procedures. Misinformation, even with good intentions, can lead to potentially dangerous practices. The episode highlights the need for public figures to consult medical experts before disseminating health related content to ensure public safety. The second news that we saw related to misinformation was from the Biden administration. The thing that we saw in the news was that Biden administration allocated over $267 million to combat misinformation, focusing on public health, science, and national security. The fund supported research, public awareness, campaigns, and policy development to address the spread of false narratives. Now, this initiative aligns with our prediction of misinformation spreading rapidly during this period, highlighting how governments are taking steps to counter its impact on society, while also sparking debates about free speech and the subjectivity of defining misinformation. The third event that we saw related to the misinformation theme was around violence against women in France. Now, in late November, France witnessed significant protests against gender based violence, coinciding with the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women on November 25th. These demonstrations were largely driven by the shocking revelation from the trial of a 72-year-old woman who, over a decade, had to go through sexual abuse orchestrated by her husband. The public outcry following the event has prompted discussions about legal reforms and the implementation of more effective measures to protect vulnerable individuals. The protest in France against violence towards women showed how misinformation can make these problems worse. False stories often minimize the seriousness of abuse, blame victims, and hide how common these issues are. Protest organizers worked really hard there to share real stories and fight against false information. This again connects with our prediction about misinformation spreading quickly, showing how it can make it harder to solve important problems like protecting women's safety. These examples reinforce the dangers of misinformation, impacting public health, policy, and social justice as we predicted. The fourth theme that we predicted was around unexpected changes in trade and business. Now, we anticipated sudden shifts in trade and business policies with far reaching consequences, specifically for transportation and communication industry. So let's see what actually happened. The first event that we observed from a trade perspective was in Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia announced new laws restricting how religious and national symbols can be used. This sudden change affected many Indians living and working there, as these symbols are often part of their daily lives and celebrations. The rules were strict, and people had to quickly change how they express their traditions to avoid breaking the law. This aligns with our prediction about unexpected changes in policies causing confusion and disruptions, showing how sudden decisions can impact communities and their way of life. The second event that we saw related to this theme was the Assisted Dying Bill Act in the UK. In the UK, lawmakers approved the Assisted Dying Bill, a major change in healthcare and legal policies. Now, this bill it allows terminally ill adults to choose medically assisted death, marking a big shift in societal attitudes about end of life care. The decision sparked debates, with some supporting it as compassionate and others worrying about its risks. This aligns with our prediction about sudden policy changes, showing how unexpected decisions can challenge existing norms and create strong reactions in the society. The third event that we saw during this time was about Spirit Airlines filing for bankruptcy. Now, Spirit Airlines, a major low cost carrier, unexpectedly filed for bankruptcy after failed merger talks with Frontier Airlines. This sudden decision created uncertainty in the aviation industry, leaving employees, passengers, and partners scrambling to adjust what to do. Flights were disrupted, future bookings were affected, causing inconvenience for travelers. This aligns with our prediction about unexpected changes in the transportation industry, showing how sudden finances or businesses decisions can create widespread ripple effects in the vital sector like aviation. The fourth event that we observed related to this theme was with Comcast. Now, Comcast surprised everyone by announcing it would spin off its cable TV networks into a separate company. This unexpected move is a response to changing consumer habits as more people switch from traditional cable to online streaming services. The decision marks a big shift in the media and communication industry, affecting employees, advertisers, and viewers. This aligns with our prediction about sudden changes in the communication sector as well, showing how businesses are adapting quickly to keep up with new trends and demands. So, these shifts in policies and industry trends highlight the unpredictable nature of business and governance during this period. The fifth and the last theme that we had was around public reactions and protests. Now, we forecasted a higher public frustration, leading to protests and demonstrations across the world. The first event that we observed related to this theme was the lawyers' protest in Ghaziabad. In Ghaziabad, lawyers held ongoing protests demanding the removal of a district judge, accusing them of unfair practices and decisions. The protest disrupted court proceedings and reflected the growing frustration within the legal community. This situation showed how unresolved concerns and poor communication with authorities can lead to unrest. It aligns with our prediction about public reactions and protests, demonstrating how dissatisfaction with leadership or systems can spark organized action and disrupt normal operations. The second event that we saw related to this theme was in another part of the world in Kenya. In Kenya, people held large protests against the government, expressing anger over poor governance and rising economic problems. Many felt unheard by leaders, and the protests highlighted issues like corruption and the growing cost of living. These demonstrations caused disruptions in daily life and brought attention to the struggles of ordinary citizens. This aligns with our prediction about public reactions and protests, showing how frustration with leadership and policies can push people to demand change on a large scale. The third event that we observed related to this theme was in Pakistan. In Pakistan, Imran Khan's party organized massive protests, demanding fair treatment and raising concerns about political issues. The protests caused major disruptions, including lockdowns in Islamabad affecting businesses and daily life. Now, these demonstrations also caught international attention, highlighting the political tensions in the country. This aligns with our prediction about public reactions and protests, showing how dissatisfaction with leadership and governance can lead to large scale movements that disrupt the normal functioning of a city or even a nation. So, from legal demands to political movements, public protests during this period align closely with the trends we anticipated. As you can see, the events of mid November to mid December in 2024 aligned remarkably well with the predictions we made. From communication issues to public protests and policy changes, astrology provided a clear lens to foresee some of these trends. If you found this video insightful, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And as always, let's keep exploring how the stars and the planets shape our world. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars and may they bless you always. Thank you. Namaste.